If you're in Australia and you want to know how to invest in real estate, you're in the right place. Hey friends, Stephen Michael Miller here, and we keep getting questions from many of you all across the world that are saying, hey, how do I do real estate in my area? And I'm going to go ahead and address some of these. I'm going to start today with Australia. A lot of you in Australia want to know how to do real estate the best in Australia. And to be honest with you, I've never done real estate in Australia. We've done a lot of real estate here in the US, but I believe that there are some similar things that you can be looking at when you're looking to do real estate in Australia, and some things that you can be aware of as you're taking steps either to do real estate in Australia or to not. As you're doing your research, things that you want to be aware of before you take any steps, okay? I don't want to slow anyone down. Actually, I want to get you going faster and faster towards your financial goals and doing the right things in real estate. But for me, as I got that question, I thought, why would I or would I not want to do real estate in Australia? And so I've got my computer here, and I'm just doing some quick searches to kind of show you my thought patterns and some of the things that I go through as I am diving in and doing some research as to maybe why I might want to do some real estate in a specific area. So I'm right here on Google. That one website that hopefully you've all heard of before, right? I just went right onto Google, put in Australian home values, and started doing some searches. And you can see right here on my computer, you've got several different articles that are coming up. This one right here says home values across Australia will continue to diverge in 2019, which means that they are currently diverging here in 2018. What does that mean? Well, that means that all across Australia, home values are going different directions. You've got some areas. I'm going to click on this site right now that listed this article, and it actually goes through different areas in Australia. It shows that in Sydney and in some parts of Melbourne, they're expected to continue to decline in value, so maybe not the best places to be investing right now in Australia, Sydney and Melbourne. But then you have other areas like Adelaide, Brisbane, Canberra, and hopefully I'm not completely murdering the names of these areas, Hobart. These are expected to see further growth. So some areas in Australia, and this is not unlike the US. In the US, we have markets that are going up in value. We have other markets that are declining in value and other markets that are holding steady. So you just want to be aware of which areas that you're going into that are experiencing those different types of fluctuations, because it's going to determine what type of real estate you might want to do in those areas. As I did some other search, looking into different property bubbles that have happened in Australia. I know, I looked here on good old Wikipedia, and although Wikipedia is not the end-all be-all, it's a good source for information. This article in particular wasn't necessarily the most current, although it was talking about a property bubble in Australia. Property bubbles are things that happen in every market all across the world. This isn't any one country specific, but I looked at the Australian property bubble, and it looks like over time, since the 1980s or even 1990s, property values in Australia have been increasing fairly rapidly. As a matter of fact, more than a lot of other places around the world. It talks about their average growth has been around 6 or so, maybe even 7% over the last many years since the early 1990s. And I know that this article or this information, some of this was pulled in 2015, and here we are right now. It's 2018. Not to date this video, but we're experiencing some of this. We've seen some of this. You in Australia, those of you that are there, you've experienced a lot of this growth already. What happens with massive growth typically is when growth exceeds the income levels, right? And this is one of the things that's been experienced in Australia is the home markets, the housing market has grown past the income growth. And right now, or at least when this article was written in 2015, you were seeing income levels at about, or housing value levels 6 times as much as the annual income level. That just means that people can't afford the housing as much, right? So whenever you get to a point in any market where housing becomes too expensive for the individuals that are earning there, then you're creating a bubble that has to be corrected at some point so that more people can actually purchase property. We're seeing a little bit of this. I looked to another forecast, and you can see here on my screen right now This is the Australia House Price Index, and this is over the last several years from 2015, which again we saw in that last article that those are prices from the 1990s up to about 2015. Well, here you see from 2015 till today, you're seeing a general trend southward. Now, we're not seeing a massive decline necessarily, but we are seeing a difference from a house index of 4.7. Now we're down to, right now, this month, or the last couple months, about a negative 0.7. Again, so this isn't necessarily time to jump ship or stop doing any type of real estate, but it is something you want to be aware of, and this could be indicating a future trend. So you want to be just aware, you want to be looking at it. Some other basic things, and I want to kind of maybe go away from these specific articles and just talk about generals right now. In all of real estate, no matter where you're buying real estate, there are some things that you want to make sure that you are keeping track of, that you're aware of as you're looking to get into doing real estate in your area. And one of those things is, can I buy a home that will cash flow? There are a lot of people that sidestep that really basic rule of getting into a property that will cash flow for you. As a matter of fact, there's something that was really big happening in Australia for a long time called negative gearing. Negative gearing isn't exclusive to Australia. They just call it a little bit different than we call it in America. But negative gearing is basically buying a home, going negative on that home, oftentimes getting a interest-only loan, going negative on that home for a period of time with the hopes or the belief that the increased property value, right, if it's growing at 6 or 7% a year, that the hope is that that increased property value will make up for that period of time where you're going negative. Negative gearing is something that a lot of investors have done in Australia, which has actually artificially inflated some of those values. And so you want to be aware of some of these things that are happening. And my recommendation would be to never be in a situation where you find yourself in a negative gearing type of situation. And the reason for it is because if there is a bubble, and if that bubble is ready to burst, if it's ready to pop at some point, and you're stuck in this negative gearing situation where you bought a home, maybe that was worth more than you bought it for, maybe the monthly payment on it is higher than you can afford, and maybe it's not being covered by the rents that you're renting it out for. If you're in that situation and the market continues to go in a downward slope, well, then you're stuck, right? In those types of situations, you could be stuck in a really bad situation and find yourself losing money on the deal, maybe getting even into a situation where you may get a bad taste in your mouth for real estate in general because of some of the bad decisions you made. So I would recommend never getting into a situation where you're trapped in that negative gearing type of scenario. So cash flow is important. Cash flow is king. Cash today can help you to invest in more today as well. So you want to be aware of that. You want to make sure that you're getting into homes that are providing a positive cash flow for you. Now, I know what a lot of people will say, and I bet I'll have individuals that will say, hey, here in Australia, you can't find a home that cash flows positive. And I'll tell you right now, if you say that to me, I'll say two things to you. Number one, you're probably wrong, right? I believe that across the world, no matter where you are, most real estate runs on a bell curve. And what I mean by a bell curve is if you understand economics, a bell curve just basically illustrates that most homes are going to be sold in the right space of time, right? If this is the bell curve right here, and you've got your normal standard deviations, then most homes are going to fall right inside of that first standard deviation. In other words, they're going to be priced at the right price. They're going to sell within the right time frame, and everything's going to go according to plan. But in any situation and in any area, I would venture to say, there are always homes that are listed too high, and there are homes that are listed too low. Outside of that first standard deviation, right? That outside of that initial bell curve area. So those homes that are priced too high, they're going to stay on the marketplace. They're going to stay on the market until either the market shifts or they shift, right? Until either the value of the home rises to meet the price that they put on it, or until they're willing to move their price to meet the market. So those are those homes that are priced too high. The homes, though, the other side of that, those 5%, let's say, of homes that are priced too low, those are those deals that are often snatched up extremely quickly. And whether you're in Australia or India or UK or America or wherever you might find yourself, those homes that are priced below the market, those are the homes that I suggest you look for. And having a belief, first of all, that those homes are even in existence will first of all fuel your ability to find them. So believe that they're there, and then start looking for them. And as you're looking for them, again, you're looking for homes that, these are good homes. These are homes that aren't necessarily your fixer-uppers. These are homes that people just price below market for whatever reason. And there are a lot of reasons for that, right? Sometimes it's divorce. Sometimes it's people getting a job. Sometimes people need to leave the country for whatever reason. And sometimes people are maybe it's a family dispute. I mean, who knows what it is, right? But there are reasons that cause people to price their home below market value because they want to get out of it quickly, or they want to get their money fast, maybe for a different reason or a different investment. And so those homes do come up. So be aware of those homes, because when you can get those homes, you're more likely to cash flow. So that cash flow is really important, and cash flow really mixed. I've kind of cover two things in one. Cash flow mixed with getting a home at a discount are two things that I would almost always recommend when doing real estate, no matter where you are. So I'll say this. If you're in a situation right now, let's just say that you're living in Sydney, and Sydney's home values are decreasing, and you want to go buy a home in Perth or something like that, maybe where the value of the homes are going up right now, you can absolutely do that. But maybe even ask yourself this question: do I need to be doing real estate where I live? Is it important for me to do real estate here in Australia if this is where I live right now? Or are there things that I can plug into? Are there systems that I can plug into? Are there people that I could potentially partner with that could help bring my investing outside of my general area, right? Can I invest in Europe, or can I invest in America? Does that make sense? And how do I do that? So that's what I would look into. There are a lot of different articles that you can go online. Again, just going on to Google and typing in things like, Australian home prices, Australian market fluctuations, Australian real estate growth, different things like that. You can just plug into Google and you'll see different things. You see right here a home price guide for Australia. You see a blog right here. This was written actually in April of 2018 of this year. It says Australia home prices fall for 7th month, okay, led by big cities. So looks like we've had some prices falling. Actually, I'll click on that real quick. Looks like this was put out by Bloomberg.com, pretty reputable source right there. And if you look at this article, it just says, home values they're going down, and they've been falling, not tons. Right? It says national housing prices fell 0.1% in April from March. So this isn't a massive decrease necessarily, but it's something to be aware of. You see some different charts. So do some research. Figure out. I think one of the biggest things that keeps people at bay from investing either in their hometown or anywhere for that matter is we get this analysis paralysis. You've probably heard that before. We get so caught up in all the information that we don't know that we're afraid to make any move forward. And if you do a quick search, I literally jumped on for 5 minutes or so, did a couple searches, found a few articles, some old, some new, and I feel like I've got a decent taste for what's going on right now in Australia. And now, granted, I've got a lot of experience in America, and I've been able to maybe take some of that experience and apply it to what I'm learning right now. But in my mind, there are some areas in Australia that can make a lot of sense to invest in right now, areas that are increasing and improving. One of the things that I would do to dig a little deeper would be to look at the economies in those specific areas, because even though a real estate area or a real estate market may be declining in a specific area, if the economy in that area is increasing, if people are moving into it and business is improving, if population is growing, that can be some great indicators that although it may be declining right now, it will probably bounce back up, right? So there's things that you want to be aware of. So my recommendation would be do some research, get in where you can, find out what markets you're in. And I think more than anything, regardless of what the markets are doing, if you get into a property and it has a good equity position, And if you get into a property you can cash flow starting day one, you're already building in some great fail safes that can keep you above the market even if the market declines a little bit. That can keep you safe even when things are turbulent a little bit around you. So that would be my big recommendation is do some research, get moving, take some steps, and get outside the box. Maybe after your research you realize, man, I want to do some real estate in America. Come on. There are so many people that are doing real estate in America from other countries. It's crazy to me to see how many people are reaching out to us from all around the world right now saying, hey, we want to get involved in real estate in your backyard. And I say, hey, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you feel is your next step, then come and join us, right? Come and find out how that could work for you. And I will say this, if you are interested in finding out from our team what that might look like, then click the link here or in the description below. Click the link and talk to one of our team. See if there's something that we can do to help you start doing real estate today. Get outside of the fear of what's maybe holding you back and start making some really good steps to just start crushing it in real estate. So with that, everyone, have a fantastic day. We'll see you later.